Do you have anything about your profession that is super misunderstood and it just annoys you every time you see something out there on the internet that reinforces the wrong thing? It's the magic retirement number for me. There's this premise out there that you can't retire until you have a certain amount of money. As a financial advisor, I can tell you that that's just flat wrong. And every time I see another article saying you need $1 million to retire, I feel like that facepalm emoji deep in my heart. You know the one, like, are you serious, man? Emoji with the little guy. It's kind of going like that. So I'll tell you what. First off, sorry to disappoint you. There is no magic number. Second, watch this video and I'll give you a formula that you can use to ballpark your real number, as well as a couple of examples. So Fidelity says that you should have 10 times your salary saved up in your retirement accounts by the time you get to age 67, which is full retirement age for most of the non-retired folks watching the video right now. That's a good starting point. So we're going to use that as our baseline, 10 times whatever your salary is. You make 50 grand, you need $500,000 in retirement assets. You make 100,000, you need $1 million. Let's see how that works out. So we're going to start with $100,000 per year guy. He's making $100,000 a year in salary. That means he should have $1 million in retirement assets, right? So first things first, I say it all the time, creating a retirement income plan. What do you have coming in guaranteed in retirement income streams here? Not assets, income streams. Social Security, pension, guaranteed annuity payments. What's that total up to? For today, we're going to assume that Social Security is the only guarantee any of these folks have coming in the door to start out. So then step number 2 becomes, how much money do you need? A good ballpark is 70% of your pre-retirement income continuing in retirement. It's not hard and fast, but it's in the realm for most everybody, and so we're going to go with that. I'll share with you later in the video where it gets wrong, but for right now, assume you need 70% of your pre-retirement income in retirement. Step number 3, what's the pot of money? As we said today, we're going to test 10 times your ending salary to see if it's magic. So for Mr. $100,000 per year, he's got $1 million in retirement. Step number 1, guaranteed income. Social Security is estimated at full retirement age at 67 as $2,572 per month for somebody making $100,000. That's a little over $30,000 per year, which is 30% of your gross salary. It's actually replacing more than 30% of the income you need, because remember, we're only solving for 70% of your income, not the full boat. So now what? Well, what are you going to need? Remember, we're trying to get to 70% of pre-retirement money. That's $70,000 a year. We've got a $30,000 head start with Social Security. So with $1 million in retirement, let's look at our old friend, the 4% rule. Remember, you can draw 4% from your retirement account per year at retirement, adjust it up for inflation each time, and 96% of the time you don't run out of money over a 30-year retirement. Now remember from my videos, the 4% rule is a good guideline, but please do not use this to create your retirement income stream. There are better ways. I've done lots of videos about it. If you're new here, I'll link one in a minute at the end. But for today, it's a good ballpark number. 4% of $1 million is $40,000 a year. So let's add it up. $40K a year from retirement accounts, $30K from Social Security, that's $70,000 a year. Magically, that's 70% of your pre-retirement income. We did it. We found the magic number, except not really. It works out very well at that dollar amount, which makes it a good guideline in that scenario. But let's move on to the next one. We'll show you kind of how this thing works overall. So what about somebody making a little bit less? What if they're making $50,000 per year? 10 times that number, $500,000 in assets is your target. Now, in this case, Social Security, because of bend points, remember, it's designed to replace more income for lower earners. So Social Security is going to work in your favor compared to a $100,000 a year guy. The estimate here, $1,619 per month. That's $19,400 and change bucks per year. That's almost 40% of your retirement income coming from Social Security. That means from a percentage standpoint, you'll actually have to draw less from your pot of money to get to that 70% target. Background noise. Garage is below me. Garage is opening. It's making noise. I don't know if you can hear it. We're going to wait for it to stop. Remember, Social Security skews so that the less you earn, the higher the percentage of your income it aims to replace. It's a benefit you pay for. Social Security is not free for anybody, but its primary purpose is as a social safety net to provide a small amount of income in retirement so that nobody ends up starting off with zero. So let's math this $500,000 magic number out. Say you get to 10 times your ending salary. You're making $50,000, you get to $500,000. We're going to apply the 4% rule to that. That means $20,000 per year added to the $20,000 a year from Social Security. You're essentially at $40,000 per year plus inflation adjusters per year, because remember, Social Security has a cost of living adjustment, and the 4% rule is assuming that you're raising your distribution each year to cover inflation. So you're at $40,000. That's actually 80% of your pre-retirement gross income of $50,000. We were only trying to get to 70%. So again, not magical, but if you can get to 10x your ending salary in your retirement accounts by the time you get to retirement age and you are around $50,000 a year, the math is likely to work out for you. Now, by this point, you're probably seeing a trend. Here's the formula again that you can apply for yourself. What will you have coming in guaranteed income? Add up monthly Social Security, pensions, etc. How much are you going to need? A good assumption, again, 70% of your pre-retirement gross income, except for what I'm going to tell you in a minute. And third, how much can you draw? A good calculation, only a calculation, but a good calculation is 4% of any assets you're earmarking for retirement income. Don't include everything. Don't include the emergency fund here. Don't include the 529s for the grandkids. This is 4% of the money you plan to use in retirement, not 4% of every last dollar that you have. Now, here's the word of caution. So far, so good on the 10x your salary thing, but the math doesn't work for all income levels. The higher your income, the more likely you'll need more than 10x your income if you're actually living off of all of your income currently. So an example there, let's say you're way out on the other end of the spectrum. You're making 300 grand a year. Social Security bend points that I talked about earlier, they're going to eat you up here. So you got the same 10 times your salary, you got $3 million in retirement. Sounds pretty good. That's a nice chunk of change. Your 4% distribution equals $120,000 a year. Social Security is going to give you $38.14 per month. That's a nice check, but it only equals 15% of your pre-retirement income. Remember, $50,000 a year person was clocking in with almost 40% of their pre-retirement income coming from Social Security alone. For you, it's 15. So for higher wage earners, you're going to have to do more of the lifting from your own portfolio, which means if you're drawing 4%, you're going to need to draw it from a larger portfolio. So in this case, with your 4% distribution plus Social Security, you're only replacing 55% of your pre-retirement income. If our guideline is 70%, even though you got $3 million, you're short on retirement. Here's the thing to consider. Here's where I said it doesn't always work. Oftentimes, when I meet somebody who's making $300,000+ a year and they're nearing retirement, they aren't spending $300,000 a year. They're spending way less than that. They've long since paid off the house, bought the vacation house, done whatever it was that they wanted to do, and it's paid for. $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. It's a lot of spending money if all of the other things are paid off. So I find that most often folks earning at that income level are actually banking a ton of money, and they're living off $10,000, $15,000 a month. If that's the case, you might not need to replace 70% of your pre-retirement income, because even before retirement, you might actually only be living off of 50 or so percent of your retirement. That drives home the point of the video. No matter what you make, $50,000 a year, $500,000 a year, your retirement is specific to you. You need a retirement plan created for you and your situation. If you're barking up that tree, check out the description. I got some good resources down there for you to check out. Also, remember, use the 4% rule to see if you're on track, not as your income plan. I told you I did a video about it. I did. Here's why. I'll explain it.